This tree here is hiding a secret. For over 100 years, a single story has defined it. That it's 2,000 years old. But what if this story is a lie? What if this legend is built on nothing more than a guess made by a famous author over a century ago? Today we're going to unravel that legend. We'll look at the history that everyone chooses to ignore. We'll explore why dating a tree like this is so hard to do. And compare it to other giants hiding in this very park. We're going to find out the truth. Is this tree an ancient wonder, or the subject of century-old deception? You can't talk about the history of this park without mentioning one of its most famous visitors. Other than Tom Cruise, yes, seriously, he came here. Back in 1913, the author of King Solomon's Mines, H. Rider Haggard, was right here in Taranaki. The story goes that he pointed to this very tree and declared it to be 2,000 years old. Now, obviously he had no scientific way of proving that, and there's no documentation that proves he did any sort of measurement. So why would this world-famous author just make that up?
You have to understand who he was. He wasn't a botanist. He was a storyteller, obsessed with ancient civilizations, lost worlds, and deep time. Saying 2,000-year-old tree might not be a factual claim as much as it is an act of myth-making. It creates a sense of awe that very old tree just doesn't.
But there's another layer. He was here as part of a royal commission, investigating the resources of the British dominions. He was a passionate crusader for the settling people on the land. What better PR for a stable, permanent, and powerful new land than a living monument that had stood since the time of the Roman Empire?
So maybe it wasn't a lie, more a blend of storyteller's instinct and imperial marketing.
And that claim was cemented when the tree was later celebrated in the book Great Trees of New Zealand by S.W. Burstall. But while Burstall documented the tree's impressive size and called it the finest tree in Taranaki, there's no record of him scientifically seconding Haggard's 2,000-year-old claim. In fact, he omitted it, I think on purpose. The story remained that. Just a story.
Now you might think, can't you just count the rings? But with a pūriri tree, it's not that simple. See, as pūriri trees get very old, they have a tendency to hollow out from the middle, meaning the center of the tree, which would hold the secret to its true age, is missing. I mean, you couldn't count the pages of a book if the center of it was missing. It makes getting a precise scientific age for this tree almost impossible. So with the original claim being so questionable, and the science being so difficult, why put it on your website? Why put it on the map? Why put it on the signage? See, this whole area is filled with giant pūriri trees. I'll show you my favorite. It's so hard to actually capture these things with a camera. They go so tall. But I love this one, how it kind of drifts off to the right, and it's so short and compact that its size doesn't get lost in the canopy. Love this tree. In fact, I love this tree so much that I'm going to point to it. I declare this tree to be 4,000 years old. But you get my point. Just because a tree amazes you, no matter how much you love it, doesn't mean that you can specify its age. I'm going to take you to a tree with an even better history. This is a George Fuller tree, and it's named after a man who single-handedly protested against this road being widened so that big trucks could access a concert venue down there.
He gave the tree a name, and overnight, it wasn't just a tree anymore.
who was a character that the whole city could root for. For 7 straight days, he stood under this tree and told passers-by the facts and stories behind it. And by week's end, the council rerouted the bulldozers.
He gave this tree a story, and maybe Haggard did the same thing. From his claim, he gave a personality to the tree. If it didn't have a personality, would it still be standing today? See, stories let humans attach to things. They take the unimportant chaos of the forest and turn it into something that we can understand. Sometimes story is more important than fact. A tree like the one we're talking about today, and the many more in this bush, has seen a million stories. It's seen ancient moa, foraging for food, Māori hunters, and even Elton John play in the bowl a couple hundred meters over there. And the story about Rider Haggard isn't some slight against its name or disrespect, it's just another story of the millions it already has. So while I started this video confused and unimpressed by Haggard, I end thankful. I love it.